The military suddenly launched a large-scale recruitment of volunteers. They arranged chartered planes to fly them to the quarantined island. The moment the volunteers landed, they were forced to hand over their phones and all communication devices. Clearly, the military didn't want the real situation on the island showing up on social media, because right now the island was going through a disaster that almost no one survived. Not long ago, a national research team was testing a new weapon along the coast, but the experiment went horribly wrong. The explosion sent up a mushroom cloud comparable to a nuclear blast. A massive electromagnetic pulse instantly covered the entire island. It directly destroyed the brains of every living thing, causing fatal neural failure. Almost everyone dropped dead in an instant. With the disaster zone so massive, the authorities had no choice but to recruit civilian volunteers for rescue efforts. Most of the people who signed up were family members or friends of residents on the island. After all, this wasn't an ordinary disaster. No one unrelated would risk their life coming here, unless they were really desperate for money. Ava was among the volunteers. When the disaster struck, her husband happened to be on the island for a business trip. He had been missing ever since. That's why Ava signed up without hesitation. What she didn't expect was the place her husband had traveled to was the area closest to the blast site. It was still engulfed in flames. For safety reasons, the authorities decided to start rescue operations from the outer zones first. In the end, Ava was assigned to the body recovery team. Before departure, though, a military officer said something strange.
Rare circumstances, we're observing unusual behavior from some of the deceased.
During rescue missions, they discovered that some bodies had reanimated, not truly coming back to life, but mutated due to brain abnormalities caused by the EMP. They had become something similar to zombies. Fortunately, they moved slowly and showed little to no aggression. If you spot one, just light a flare to report it. The soldiers on site will handle the rest. After the briefing, buses dropped the volunteers off in different small towns. Under military supervision, they went into houses in pairs and officially began transporting bodies. When Ava stepped into the first house, she froze. Nothing in the house looked damaged. A family of 3 lay quietly on the floor. Water was still running from the faucet. It was clear they had collapsed and died in the same instant. Before long, the streets outside were lined with neatly arranged bodies. Trucks hauled them away load after load. The scene was horrifying. Some volunteers couldn't stomach it and threw up on the spot. From time to time, heartbroken family members wailed in agony. Very soon, Ava's first partner broke down. He quit on the spot. Jack replaced him. Unlike the others, Jack was like a cold, emotionless machine. Facing all kinds of bodies, there was no fear in his eyes, only a hunger to get the job done. He had signed up for the money. Soon the two ran into trouble, a body weighing nearly 500 pounds. They struggled but couldn't move it. In the end, they had to call for backup. They had started to believe the military zombie warning wasn't real, until suddenly someone lit a flare in panic. Soldiers rushed over and handled it quickly and brutally. Not long after, Ava and Jack found one inside a house. It stood there without moving, but its appearance was terrifying. Even though Ava had prepared herself, she was still badly shaken. Jack lit a flare. Soldiers on standby arrived and took it down. The bodies that were transported away were buried together on site. Watching the grim scene, Ava still held on to a tiny hope that her husband was alive. Even if he wasn't, she needed to see his body with her own eyes. What she didn't know was that her words had already come true. Her husband had perished in that explosion long ago. His cold body lay still nearby, awaiting her search. Finally, after relentless effort, Eva found him. With belated despair and reluctance, she buried him with her own hands.